Good morning, everyone. So good to be here. Thank you for joining today. Oh my gosh, this topic is so near and dear to my heart. I can't even tell you. So hello to all of you. My name is Rachel Balancet, and I am a regenerative health practitioner and clinical iridologist. I'm gonna let this dog in. Hang on. It's not even like the door was closed. The door was just like cracked and she couldn't even push it. I'm going to make somebody else. I'm going to make a couple of hosts here because it's hard for me to monitor the door at the same time. I'm going to make Felicia a co-host, and I'm going to make, it's okay. I'm going to make, sorry about all this. Let's see, Nira and Carmen, also make you a co-host. There we go. Okay, so we've got the technical things taken care of. So I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I'm a dog sitting, and this cat does not like the dog. So if there's any noise in the background, you know why. So this is our weekly support Zoom, and we are here for a variety of reasons. Some people are in the middle of doing a liver cleanse, health transformation. Some people here have come here through my Hashimoto support group. Some of you have invited people. So I just recognize that there are people here who are at different stages on the path. Some people are looking for solutions. They're brand new, like, oh my God, I feel so sick with eczema or psoriasis, or maybe it's rheumatoid arthritis, and they're all related. And so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about some of this stuff. And we're going to talk about what the symptoms might look like, kind of like where it stems from. What is the root cause of eczema and psoriasis? What is it? Where do these things actually come from? And a little bit about the history. So we'll go into a little bit of that. We're also going to talk about the solution. Okay, we're not going to just leave you in like, well, we've got this horrible problem, because nobody likes to be left there with there's just a horrible problem, right? So we're gonna actually give you guys some solutions and talk about how you can actually recover, how you can actually transform your health, and just, give you some hope. All right. And I'm going to start with telling you about my own personal story. Okay. So let me just start with me and where I've been, because some of my team, some of my health coaches on my team don't even know this about me. But I struggled with eczema. That's the topic of today. Eczema my entire life until not that long ago. And I had it as a child. I had strep throat often. I would have ear infections all the time. And then I would also constantly have eczema. And so I would get eczema in the cracks of my elbows. I would get it behind my knees. And I guess it didn't seem like such a big deal for everybody because it wasn't everywhere. Well, slowly, as I got into college, I began to study photography. And in photography, I was handling all kinds of chemicals with my hands. And then I started having outbreaks on my hands. So it started manifesting on my hands. In my early 20s, it started to spread. And then it went into my face. And so probably most people can relate that once it gets to your face, it's like a whole other level, right? My vanity kicked in. I'm like, oh my God, I have eczema all over my face. I was looking really a lot older than I was. I wasn't ready to age that quickly. And so, hang on. Okay, I apologize, but I'm gonna put this cat in the room. Okay. So I struggled with having eczema to start to go from my face and then down to my body and then my breasts and tender zones, areas you don't want it. It went all the way down to my feet. It was on my toes. It was everywhere. So long story short is I became very desperate and I started looking for options. And that's when my journey into nutrition began in my 20s, when I began to study really clearly. And I discovered Edgar Cayce, who was a medical intuitive from the 50s, who provided solutions that I didn't even know were possible. I didn't even know they existed, and they were just nutrition. Okay. It was just like avoid certain foods and eat certain foods. And so that was super helpful. And I'm going to talk about what that is today. Okay. But I began cleansing. I began my journey with superfoods, and I pretty much beat it down. And then it reared its ugly head up later in life. Once I got well, I felt like I was invincible. I could eat anything. Well, then it came back. So you have to know that like toxins and the things that are the root causes accrue. And then some people have eczema, which comes and goes. Why does it come and go seasonally? That's another kind of eczema. There's like many different varieties, like over 100 different varieties of eczema. There's also eczema and psoriasis as hybrids. There's like different kinds of psoriasis. So there's like a lot of different kinds. And it can be very baffling trying to figure out which one am I, you know? And so it can come and go. It came and went for me. And then eventually, once I got super, pretty much healthy, I started, I lived in different places and moved around. And that matters too, if you're moving around, because you might go from a house that has lead pipes to suddenly a house that has no lead pipes. And then you start to get a little bit healthy. And then you move to another house that has maybe your cookware changes, and then your cookware has toxic metals in it. So you're going to learn that the root cause of eczema has to do with a combination of a viral load and metals, heavy metals, and that the right combination is going to manifest in the form of eczema and psoriasis. So things came and went, but I definitely, once I got better, I was like, I can do whatever I want. I can heal. Like I can, and then it came back in the form of Hashimoto's. So Hashimoto's is the later stage of eczema. It is an advanced stage. It's not even the later stage of eczema. It's a later stage of Epstein-Barr virus. So last week, I think, or a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Epstein-Barr virus being the root cause of Hashimoto's, like the viral load that actually causes Hashimoto's. Well, you start combining it with a bunch of metals, and then it ends up, when you have Epstein-Barr with metals, it'll manifest, if it's like copper or mercury, it's going to manifest as like eczema or psoriasis. And we're going to talk about where that comes from. Like, where do these come from? These different heavy metals. Like, how do people get these metals that go deep in the liver, these viral loads that go deep in the liver? And now you've got this crazy outbreak of eczema and psoriasis, because that combination was just the perfect match of married combination of ingredients to then cause eczema and psoriasis. So anyway, later in life, I got Hashimoto's, which is like the third stage of Epstein-Barr virus. And then it becomes menopause. Now people can get these stages, depending on your toxic load, you can like quicken through these stages or not. So, but it tends to take time. And so these are all related, which is one of the reasons I'm talking about these things back to back. So, yeah, and feel free to put any questions too, if you have them in the chat, if you want me to cover specific things, or if you have a specific issue with eczema. A lot of times the way eczema and psoriasis are treated, I say eczema a lot because that's what I had, but they're related. Eczema and psoriasis and even rheumatoid arthritis are all similar. Okay, they all have like their different expressions of these combinations, which is why it's so important to, number one, detox the liver and remove metals and kill the pathogens. Okay, so by detoxing the liver, you're actually removing metals and pathogens, viral loads, that is, from the liver. That's why detoxing the liver is like extremely important. When the liver gets sluggish, it makes it even harder for these toxins to move out. The liver has to work extra hard. Okay, so Epstein-Barr virus or other viruses, some people have acne, and that's streptococcus, right? Those things lodge deep in the liver, in the center, in the very core of the liver. That's how the liver protects you. It stores all these toxins in the middle of the liver to protect you. So all those toxins you're exposed to get lodged in the liver through time. All right, what you're breathing in, the perfumes you wear, the toxins that come from fabric softener, laundry detergent, Dawn dish soap, all these different ways we get toxins, parabens, and all the things that are in our hair products and shampoos that have all these toxic chemicals. This stuff just gets lodged in the liver. Okay. So you got to find ways to clean this out. And that's going to be the solution that we'll talk about later. About there's like a wonderful protocol of superfoods that has worked magically for many, many people to help them detox the liver. And several people on this call have had that experience. In fact, I'm going to invite people from this call to just share, a couple of people to share your story. I haven't picked on anybody, but if you are open to sharing about your own experiences, please let me know, because I need two people. I need two people to share. And I know there's many on this call who've actually had great experiences. And it doesn't have to be about eczema, but just like something that you've experienced in terms of like adding nutrition to your diet and like noticing that your body balance comes back into balance. Okay. All right, Kahina. So I'll call on you in just a moment. Thank you. So I personally recovered completely. I had eczema from head to toe, and it took me about 3 months. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean I was well after that. It's just that the symptoms were no longer visible on the outside. It still took me like a couple of years, like 3 whole years, to really reverse all those toxins that I'd been accumulating my whole life. Okay. So, oh, wow. Yeah, Midge, you were toxic on lead. So one of the things that I was exposed to when my eczema became really bad was I was living in an old Victorian house that had lead pipes and lead wallpaper. Like underneath all the layers of paint, this wallpaper was starting to peel, and then you could see that these walls had just been painted over and painted over. No one ever took off the original wallpaper and the original paint, which was lead. So I was living in this environment that I didn't even know was causing me illness. Mold can also do that. And I know you had exposure to mold too recently, Kahina. So mold can also do that. Mold actually amplifies by 100 times any toxins that are in the body. It amplifies the toxic load. That's why when people are exposed to mold, they suddenly have this like huge outburst of symptoms. It's extremely important to take care of that. And we can go into that more later. So you get these toxic heavy metals from also pesticides, DDT. So DDTs and pesticides, it is actually, we talked about this on one of the calls, how DDT was like a supplement, that they were really hardcore advertising DDT, this toxin that they were spraying on everything. It's so good for you. Like, in fact, here, have a little spoonful of it, put it on your cereal. So my mom actually was one of those people. She was 35 when she had me. So she was, born in 1938 and lived during that whole time, the whole DDT period. Okay. And so no wonder I was born with, like, as a child having eczema, because I'd been exposed to her toxins. Wasn't her fault. She was a victim to all that. She was a victim of those circumstances, right? It wasn't her fault. We're not blaming women for passing on toxins through their womb, but it is how we can get things so early on in our life. We can have Epstein-Barr virus, the super virus that has grown as a result of like all the different antibiotics. These super viruses grow. But the good news is that we're not doomed by them, because we can take care of ourselves with nutrition. Our bodies are incredibly resilient. So that is the good news I want you guys to leave with today, is that you can completely recover. Okay? You got this. You got this. So I completely recovered. I remember looking at these pictures in a book saying it's going to get worse before it gets better. Just stick with it. The toxins, as they're releasing, your skin might like start to dry out and get more cracky and gross, and then it's going to get better. And so I saw the pictures. So I knew when that happened to me, I just stuck with it. I just stayed on the course, because I knew that there's a little toxic, detoxification period. For some people, they might not get that at all. For some people, it might last a few days. Some people might last longer. But the good news is on the other side, it just suddenly disappeared. Like suddenly it was gone. I was like, whoa, holy cow, it's gone. Like, oh my gosh. Okay. I was diligent with my nutrition for 3 whole years. Every time I veered off of the nutrition protocol, it would start to come back. Like every time I just took a little pause, it would start to come back. So that's why it's important to stick with it. Yes, Nirankar.
I imagine stress plays a role too, Rachel. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. Stress definitely plays a role. So anger, stress, all that stuff, what it does is it releases adrenaline. And adrenaline is a toxin. It basically feeds pathogens. It feeds the virus. It feeds the Epstein virus, the streptococcus virus, whatever viral loads you have going on in your body that maybe you had when you're a kid. You got that, you kind of have it for life. All right. So now you just got to just keep eating in a way that's going to keep it pushed back and killed back. That's why it's important to stay eating healthy, So what we propose is the ultimate lifestyle transformation, right? It's a protocol where you actually get to change your lifestyle. It's going to help you beat back. It's going to help your cravings go away. It's going to help your habits change. It's going to help you make decisions that will become easy decisions instead of feeling like you're white knuckling it, like, oh God, I've got to eat well, and then struggling against like eating cake and sugar and chocolate and all the things. Instead of like beating yourself up about it, you just add the good stuff in and your cravings will start to dissipate. So yes, so my eczema went away. I was great for a number of years. I started eating whatever I wanted again. It came back and then I started eating well again. I was like, oh, I got to go through this again. It went away. And then I kind of started indulging again a little bit. And then all of a sudden I got Hashimoto's, but I also had a trauma at the time. I went through a very severe trauma. And in that trauma, I had an explosion of exhaustion. It's kind of ironic. It's kind of funny to call it an explosion of exhaustion. It was more like I fell asleep and I was just tired all the time. Okay, so it showed up again from that adrenaline rush, that adrenaline load. And a lot of people will get sick after a big thing happens in their life, an adrenaline load. Some people don't know why. They'll be well and then they'll get sick and then they'll get well again. And again, let me just remind you that we're constantly changing our environment, which can change the toxic load. Okay, we might move into a house that we don't even know has mold or we don't even know has lead pipes. Okay, carry the water. So we're drinking water out of these lead pipes. We might change our cookware and not know that we're eating cookware that has PFOEs in it, which I don't even know what those letters stand for, but they're bad. Okay, so there's cookware is unregulated in the United States. And then we've got a lot of people will use cast iron thinking that's going to be better because they've got anemia. So now we got to add in cast iron. Well, now you're just adding more metals into your body. All right. Cast iron is like another way. Those things, it's very loose, right? It's very porous. That stuff chips off. Not only that, it holds on to oils and those oils become more and more toxic as you're cooking in the same oils over and over again. Those oils are becoming rancid. And then everyone talks about sugar being bad, but no one talks about the problems with fat. Our body also produces adrenaline and norepinephrine and different steroidal hormones to break down fat because they're complex molecules. So our body has to break down this fat. And then that also feeds pathogens. So we've got this and that's a whole other interesting story. Why is fat becoming such a huge thing to be promoted? Well, as people started becoming vegetarian and vegan in the 80s and 90s and started going low fat, like the 90s was like skim milk, late 80s, 90s, I think was all about skim milk and low fat and this and that. And, but also people started to stop eating meat. Well, the meat industry was very threatened and started a huge campaign to inject the concept of fat in our diets, that we need fat, we need healthy fats, and we need to eat more meat and we need to eat more bone broth. And we need to have, or whatever, not that bone broth has fat because that's mostly that there's a whole other problem with bone broth. But anyway, bone broth has another whole component of steroidal hormones because when an animal dies, it's all of its hormones get released, right? With all this adrenaline, and now you're eating adrenaline soup when you're drinking bone broth. So that's a whole other thing. But right now I'm going to focus on other solutions because we've got other solutions. There are things you want to avoid, but there's also things that you want to add in. So Kahina, I'm going to go ahead. Are you ready, love? Are you ready to share a little bit here?
Yeah.
Let me spotlight you. Let me find you. Where are you? There you are. Okay.
See me covered in clay?
Are you covered in clay? Awesome.
Yeah, I have it in my hair and
You're doing mud baths?
and in my pits. Yeah, it feels so good. I wish I would have known about this years ago when I was broken out with psoriasis because it was all over my head. I also had a very substantial trauma and I've always suffered with gut issues, gut dysbiosis, since I was little. So I was already going to be prone to, and my grandmother had psoriasis. I remember it all over her head too, bless her heart. Oh my goodness.
I just want to say how cute it is that you're next to that with that llama with the like little tousled hair in the back. The two of you are like cute together with your like muddy face in your hair. It's like so cute.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I didn't ask you ahead of time. So, but you look great. I'm glad that you're like, oh, it's adorable. So go ahead and tell us more. So tell us like about your before and after picture.
Okay, so yeah, I had after this trauma, I had it was all over my head, and I had big bald spots where I was like, shit. Like my hair did not look like it had any chance to grow back in some of those spots. It was so inflamed, and it was, I was already hurting. And then on top of that, I just felt like this walking scab person. Like I just felt it was really uncomfortable on so many levels. So I have so much compassion for people that struggle with these skin issues, because it really is oftentimes we have some emotional issues that go along with that. And then there's the insecurity and the discomfort of what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
So grateful that there was.
So now you're better and now it's gone?
Yes, so much better. I'm so grateful that there was a solution, because I couldn't continue like that. Yeah. And if I swing back, like if I'm like, ooh, I'm going to make a pass for that, whatever treat, which I don't hardly do anymore because I would just much rather feel better. But, occasionally I'll have a little bit too much coconut sugar and a cup of coffee, but really not often at all. But when I have, it will start to show itself again. It'll be a little itchy, and I'll have these little warning signs that are like, and it was even in my ears really bad, especially the left ear. It was like kind of scary, psoriasis can get like, and then any kind of trigger, emotional trigger. I remember my mom would hurt my feelings sometimes, and it would flare up again.
Now you understand why.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, of course, the nutrition and the protocol has been super duper helpful, but the community and the support and the love that I've received that have helped me also, step out of that trauma space that I lived in. I mean, I was like, it's hard to step out of that sometimes once you've experienced such intense experiences. So that really helped me to trust the rest of my reality and the rest of my unfolding. So thank you so much. I love everyone in this community.
What else have you experienced as a result of doing the protocol, the 90-day protocol, and being on these superfoods for a while?
Oh, my motherhood has shifted drastically. Like, of course, there's still moments of like frustration because I'm a single mom and I do it a lot, calling in a lot more beautiful support. And grateful to receive that. Thank you for praying that with me yesterday, because it already showed up.
Nice.
So, yeah, just alignment, more trust in myself. I'm a holistic doula and I love supporting birth, and I'm always guided to help other women like really tune into the body and trust themselves. And I feel like I'm able to do that on a whole new level.
Awesome. That's so beautiful. Thank you.
More playful too in my parenting, and I just feel more connected.
So do you have more energy? Do you have more like, do you have better digestion? Like, are there other like specific like that have shifted since you started?
Definitely better digestion for sure. I was suffering pretty bad with constipation and IBS, and it would just kind of go back and forth where it was like, oh my gosh. And that with single parenting is like a freaking nightmare. Yeah. So it was a drastic shift. And I had tried so many other probiotics, and that was like, holy shit. Like, I feel like I found the holy grail,
Yeah. So one of the interesting things is that constipation is a common symptom that comes along with eczema or psoriasis. And it's because of the toxic heavy metals, right? So that is a symptom of metals is being constipated. Now, if it's going to express itself as eczema or versus psoriasis, that depends on if it's copper or if it's mercury, or if it's a copper mercury hybrid, or if it's lead, or, you know, there's all, and it has to be like the right combination of the toxic heavy metal, the toxins, and the viral load, right? So that's gonna decide. And so one of the things that the nutritional protocol does is that both the spirulina helps remove metals, like very deeply, right? And also the seaweed that's in there, like the dulse that's in the super meal shake, the dulse in there, that also is helpful. And then the barley green juice actually kills off the virus. Like that's what barley green juice is antiviral, surprisingly. Okay. And so the other thing is that when you're in this protocol, the sludge is now, you're clearing the sludge from the liver because you're also reducing fats. And when you reduce fats, it makes it easier for your body to, your liver to actually do its functions because it's not so heavy. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. And I am going to answer some of the questions in here. Let's see. It was what to wash and moisture, what to wash with, what kind of moisturizer, and what do we cook with? Okay. Good questions. So you want to just make sure you're using sustainable products all the time. And sustainable products, there's some different companies that I would suggest, like 7th Generation is very natural. Ecover is very good. These are companies that are committed to sustainability, and so that they are not using toxins as ingredients in their products. So one of the sometimes if you see the word fragrance, that is a euphemism that's covered by the Trade Secrets Act. The word fragrance allows a company to not disclose its ingredients, and it could actually use any of the 500 banned chemicals banned in the US. Okay, there's 500 chemicals banned in the US or more, and those are allowed to be used if they through this loophole called fragrance. So sometimes you'll see this, I've seen this in like Tide or All, right? These are like kind of common household products that are really, really toxic. And now they'll say like all clear, like they'll say like fragrant, that there's no fragrance, it doesn't smell, right? It doesn't smell, but they'll still have the word fragrance in there because fragrance gives them the allowance to use any of those toxic chemicals. One of the chemicals that a lot of industries like to use is a toxin that actually, sorry, my cat's really trying to get out. One of the toxins that's used actually enhances the lifetime of a fragrance of something that actually smells, right? So perfume will use, like a perfumery, like Calvin Klein perfume has been they've done reverse engineering to see what toxins are in there. And it's like one of the most toxic perfumes and colognes. And they put an ingredient in there that makes it last like 2 weeks longer. And so what happened is your sense of smell, your olfactory system will start to shut down. And you don't even, after a minute, your nose can't even smell anything it's smelling anymore. That's why people keep applying fragrances over time, because they don't know. They've already accumulated tons of perfume over weeks, and they're smelling to high heaven, and they have no idea that they're just adding more on top of it. And so they can't really smell it, but then they're adding it on. Or some people will feel like, oh, this is, long lasting fragrance. And so I don't, maybe they'll use less if they're smart, but we have this problem of the fragrance industry using this word fragrance. Any industry, I mean, any product can use the word fragrance to use any of those banned ingredients. Okay, it's a euphemism. So make sure you're washing with something that is that doesn't have the word fragrance in it. There are some natural fragrances. Natural fragrance is still sort of a loophole, but you might see that they are using it might be like a company that actually is very natural that you might do your research and find out. But you guys don't have to excuse me. My cat is just hanging on a second. Okay, I think I handled that problem. It's not that you can hear it, but it's distracting me and it's hard for me to keep my own train of thought. So you also asked about cookware. So cookware is like a whole big subject. There's like low end and high end cookware, but you want to make sure it doesn't have any PFOEs in it, or is it PFOAs? I forget which it is, but there's no regulation. There is a company called Green Life. It's either Green Life or Earth Life cookware. And so it has non-stick surface, but it doesn't have any of those ingredients in it. And so that's like on the low end, like for $150, you can get like a whole set. And then there's on the high end, there's Salad Master, which is which is made with molybdenum titanium steel. And so that stuff is really inert. And so it's basically like the same grade steel that they use in surgery. And it's very expensive. That's like more like in the thousands. And you can, get a couple of different things from them. So those are like the kind of the ranges, like the safest cookware that's out there. I think it's Green Life. I can't remember if it's Green Life or Earth Life. But anyway, these are the safest ones. Okay, Green Life. Okay, thanks, Sovereign Joe. I have it too. Yeah, it's really good. I have both actually. I use both. So the problem with steel is if you find steel that's from China, is that it could be irradiated, and because there's radiation, and they'll recycle and reuse like metal over and over again, and so you can end up with steel that's irradiated. So from radiation, right? So you just kind of got to be careful. The cool thing is that seaweed can remove radiation and metals from the body, so that's definitely something that can be supportive. Is there anybody else who would be willing to share a little bit about their health transformation? Anybody else willing and brave to share a little bit about your journey and kind of where you're at on your journey, how it's going for you? Vibes with Pila or Pariah. Did you have a question, or are you trying to speak? Go ahead and unmute. Can you unmute?
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you. How's it going?
Good.
Did you want to share something?
Yeah, certainly. I was just actually eating, which I couldn't do before because my gut was so messed up. And Biomedic really healed my gut. I just wanted to say that. And I couldn't eat wheat. I couldn't eat bread. I couldn't eat anything like that. I would just get so sick. And I had leaky gut, and I had some other gut issues that I won't go into, but it's the best. I just wanted to say that. So if anybody's on the fence about it, that and the super aminos are just fantastic. So
I love those too. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. So the Biomedic.
And I had lifelong gut issues. So for 25 years. So for me to heal my gut, be able to eat a wrap with a roti, I had a vegan roti with some avocado and some other stuff in it, some greens, and my green drink, and I'm good to go.
Beautiful. So tell me your name. Is it Pariah?
Vibes with Perla. Yeah, that's
Vibes with Perla. That's really cool. And how did you learn about this? Who shared this with you?
Oh, they're not here. So I learned about it, about Purium a couple of years ago from someone, and I wasn't ready, and last fall I was ready. So beautiful. I jumped right in, did my first ULT, and it just changed my life. So got me on a whole new trajectory with my health.
Awesome. So beautiful. So happy to hear that. Thank you. Vibes with Pariah. So I appreciate that. And so I am going to talk about the protocol in a little bit. I just want to see if I think Midge wanted to share. Midge, was that you?
Yeah, I'll share. Mm-hmm. I was diagnosed very quickly back up in 2004. they thought I had a stroke. So I went through a lot of medical procedures, and the neurologist said to me at one point, "What are you going to do when I can't find anything wrong with you? What are you going to say to that?" Anyway, I was very lucky at that time to have a massage therapist that said to me, "You need to go to an alternative nutritional chiropractor." And I went through a whole long process of increasing my adrenal system and increasing my body. I did, and then was put on supplements and shakes, but it really did not take, I did not feel as strong, and my energy and all those things really pick up until 2 years ago when I started Purium. So I had been on supplements and all those things, but not the superfoods. And my diet, I don't think, matched all of that. But when I went on the superfoods and I really began to work through the protocol, I have been amazed at the difference, not only physically, because I was, I'm older, so obviously, but also emotionally, and my mental health improved. And I was able to deal with life and the changing and what's my purpose and all those things much more clearly with my superfoods. And
Nice.
if I get close to running out, I go into a little bit of a panic. So I am very grateful that Niranjar introduced me to those 2 years ago.
Thank you, Niranjar. Wonderful. Thanks, Mitch. Appreciate you. So yeah, this is it's so far reaching what this can do. One of the things too I wanted to touch upon is that a lot of times people, mostly when people have eczema, they're just given steroids. They're given some kind of immunosuppressant. So this is not really the most viable long-term solution, because eventually because it's not treating the root cause. And then if you're not addressing your diet, if you're not addressing like your nutrition, then those issues will still fester underneath. You're basically just cutting off your body's response to it. So those things are still happening, but your body's just like, the response is cut off. So what happens, the reason it comes to the skin is like the liver gets so full, the kidneys get so full, everything's sludge, and these toxins now are starting to come to the surface. So your skin is the largest organ in your body. It's the largest organ in your body. And so once those organs are full, then it starts to come out the skin. Your body's trying to push it out the skin. And so that's why you end up having this. And so the layer underneath the top layer of the skin starts to grow so fast that it starts to grow faster than the top layer of skin, and it bursts out and explodes basically. And then now you've got this like itchy surface. And so some people will have eczema or psoriasis, and like it'll be itching and they don't even have a rash, and they don't even know why am I so itchy right here? Because that's just another variety that is showing up like that. You can get cracked skin, you can get dry skin. There's so many different ways that it can show up. So yes, and stockpiles ingredients all night long. So yeah, I've basically done this. I basically have done this 90-day protocol. All the people you've heard who've spoken today have all done this 90-day protocol, which is an amazing support to remove toxins. And the biomedic that that Vibes was speaking with, Vibes with Purium was speaking about, is part of the transformation. It's part of this kit, the superfoods protocol, and it has what it does is it actually reduces glyphosate, that's the toxin in Roundup, the herbicide, by 75% in 6 weeks. And that's according to the studies. And I'm sure that it's doing a lot more than just removing that. I'm sure it's reducing a lot more than just that. But this is a beautiful, it's a probiotic, a plusbiotic, and a prebiotic. And it regrows the villi so your body can absorb more nutrients. It helps sweep things out, and it is something that can actually like pull the glyphosate out of your system. Okay, so I've got a couple of raised hands here. Zaya and Niranjar. Zaya.
Oh, I was gonna say what my what my experience had been.
Mhm.
I too went through constipation, hemorrhoids, all of that for years. I did enemas, colonics, all of that stuff, and started with green drinks and acidophilus and probiotics. And it never fully took until I started doing Purium, and I started that because I was completely exhausted, brain fog, migraines coming back, I was a mess. And I didn't realize until last week that that was part of my menopause. I was like, oh my God, that was menopause. Wow. And I knew nothing about how, because I had candida years ago too, but I didn't know about the Epstein-Barr. So 6.5 years ago, I started with Purium, and I've been well ever since. My digestion is great. It's just like, oh, yay, finally, no more hemorrhoids or any of that stuff. The migraines went, my energy came back. And so, this is like, I'm on these products for life. I can't wait to go Sunday and pick up my next order.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're feeling better. It's been a wonderful journey for you. Yeah. I've been using doing the maintenance, just the core for daily maintenance for 9 years now. So I've been free of Hashimoto's, eczema, and everything for 9 years. I've been, had energy, my brain fog's gone, all that stuff, my digestion. I was constipated my whole life, you guys. I didn't even know I was constipated till I finally got unplugged. And I was like, what? People poop 2 to 3 times a day? Honestly, I was just like, this is amazing. I gotta even know. And some people are scared of that. They're like, am I gonna, be going to the bathroom all the time? Well, just know that things balance out. Okay. So yeah, the Biomedic can help with all of that. Yeah. Well, it's really, rosacea is just like eczema and psoriasis. You got to go to the root cause. You got to get rid of the metals. You got to get rid of all the toxins. It's not just Biomedic. Biomedic's not going to fix rosacea. You got to have all of it. You got to be I recommend anybody who has eczema to actually, and psoriasis or any of these, to actually do the heavy metal detox protocol, which includes adding dulse, adding celery juice, adding lemon water, like having those things also in your diet every day. And it also is specifically, I would add on the fulvic zeolite because that's a metal chelator. Okay, so that you can add that on. That's one of the Purium products. You're going to have the ultimate lifestyle transformation. Plus, you're going to add on the fulvic zeolite, ionic elements, which is your trace minerals that helps also with pulling out, with removing metals. You're also going to add in spirulina. Sorry, I'm hearing people off mute. Let's see if everyone can just check their mute buttons. And then also adding in spirulina. Even though there's spirulina in the shakes, I want you to have more, like a teaspoon of spirulina every day. Okay, so adding in spirulina, adding in barley green juice, you can add those in so you have extra. And I would add like a teaspoon of the spirulina, maybe a tablespoon, up to a tablespoon of the barley green juice powder, and start adding that to your drinks, to your green shakes or to your smoothies. Eat dulse every day. Have like a tablespoon of dulse. All right, that's seaweed. Add that to your smoothies, add that to your salads, but have that every day. Have like a handful of cilantro every day. That's also very good for heavy metal detoxing. You can do that all in a smoothie. If you want if somebody could put the heavy metal detox recipe in the chat from the Team Boards app, that would be really helpful. It's under help consultations. That's what I recommend. Okay, so you do lemon water first thing in the morning, and then you wait 20 minutes, and then you do celery juice, and then you wait 20 minutes, and then you do your smoothie with your power shake or your with your spirulina and the barley green juice and the dulse you can put in there. You can put an orange in there, a banana in there, and wild blueberries. Wild blueberries is very specific. It's blue all the way through the whole entire blueberry. It's not just blue on the outside, it's also blue on the inside if you cut it in half. So wild blueberries, all those good anthocyanins. Yes. that's kind of like the recipe. If you get constipated, have the tart cherry juice that comes with the pack, have that, which is an ultimate lifestyle transformation. Also drink that in the morning. That's all. Lemon water and tart cherry juice are also remedies for, okay. So
Rachel,
yes,
there's a couple people asking specifically about rosacea, so I just want them to hear it from you too.
thank you. Well, I guess I covered that, right? Because rosacea is also, it's the same thing. It's a liver issue. So all these are liver issues. So the liver is heating up. It's like, and now everything's trying to like move through the skin. So yeah, the same thing. Heavy metal, I would do the heavy metal detox protocol, and just stick with it. Just know it can get worse before it gets better. Okay, really important. It can get worse before it gets better. Just know that if it gets worse, you're like, hey, yay, it's working. I'm detoxing. That's your body responding as things are starting to leave your system. Let's see. I did any other specific questions? Thank you, Nirankar. She put the heavy metal detox recipe in there. Perfect.
I think for people who are having like an acute breakout right now, is there anything that you guys remember when you were having a breakout on your face that you used that helped specifically beyond just natural products like honey or clays? I know Kahina had said something about that, but just things that felt really good in the moment for acute breakouts on the face.
Hi, Rachel.
Yes.
Hi, Anne. Thanks. Can I share a little bit?
Hold on. I'm trying to find you so I can spotlight you. There you go.
Oh, thanks for your share. When you mentioned if there was anything else and you said honey, during different like seasons, I'd get like a breakout behind my ear or something. And my naturopath was like, dove into like the emotional part, but she also shared with me about Manuka honey. And because I had tried for a couple of years. And so besides watching the nutrition or doing what I could, the Manuka honey seemed to make an impact in a couple days versus years of not having. So that's an opportunity of washing your face with Manuka honey, which is, yeah.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
honey is one of the most amazing foods for the liver, as long as it's raw and as long as it's organic. If it's not raw, it's cooked, it's like ruined, you've like destroyed its properties. And if it's not organic, well, we want to be having everything as organic as possible. So thank you for sharing that. It's really a beautiful, it's incredible for the liver, and so is maple syrup. Maple syrup is absolutely amazing for the liver.
I also have a really fun skin remedy.
Okay.
A
Who's that?
lot of people, we don't know about this, but it's yogurt and turmeric.
Hold on. Who is that so I can spotlight you? There you are.
Dana.
Go ahead.
It's yogurt and turmeric. It's a Ayurvedic. The Indian women would do this. But yeah, it's really lovely. You mix the yogurt with turmeric, not too much turmeric, because you can go yellow. You don't want to have it on your skin for too long, but
Awesome.
It does wonders. And it's, it feels really delicious.
Beautiful. Nirankar and then Kahina.
Actually, I just wanted to, someone's asking if this protocol prevents recycling metals through the body, Rachel. So I wonder if you could just address that, how are we sure that the metals are leaving the body and not just being thrown around the system?
So chlorella tends to leave metals in places, but spirulina takes it all the way out. The fulvic zeolite takes it all the way out. Yeah. So it's better spirulina is like the best solution for heavy metals. And you will know because you will get better. That's how you know that it's not just recycling around, because you will your symptoms will disappear. Yeah. Thank you. Kahina.
Okay, so I had something to add. What I used, I made this infusion with calendula and plantain for my skin that helped soothe it. But I was wondering, Rachel, what you would say about the aloe concentrate that we have, making like a skin tonic with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you
aloe is
just use
fantastic. I mean, aloe is wonderful. All these things that'll like help cool off the skin. It's going to cool the flare up. Aloe is wonderful. It feels really, really good. One thing you want to avoid is lanolin. You want to make sure you never have lanolin in your products. If you have eczema or psoriasis, it'll just worsen. It'll make it feel itchy. It'll make it more problematic. A lot of times lotions have lanolin in it. So make sure lanolin is like an oil from sheep. So you want to make sure that's not in there. Any other questions? Yep, chlorophyll is great. Good. You can get organic blueberries usually you can get the wild blueberries from Trader Joe's. Sometimes you can find them at Whole Foods. You can find them at local natural food stores. They're really common right now. Medical Medium has made them like all the craze. And so people are like running out of celery juice and wild blueberries. And that's another interesting thing too, is that Medical Medium is, who's written many books, is actually incredibly knowledgeable. And what's really interesting is a lot of ads that we see now are actually originated with Medical Medium, which is Anthony Williams. So Anthony William, he was the original person who came up, who introduced, somebody unmuted, can people there? Long story short is, a lot of things that doctors have adopted, a lot of research that has developed over there came from him first saying it. So he is a medical, you could call him a medical intuitive, but he's literally like hearing this. There's a whole long story. If you read his first book, it's really fascinating how he saw spirit and heard spirit, and no, he can't go anywhere without hearing a person's illness. Like spirit just says, oh, this person has this person has that, this person has this. Even if he goes into a movie theater, it'll start telling him everybody who's in the movie theater and then everybody on the screen. And he literally had to make a pact that he would, promise to share this information with everyone. And it's very similar. The information that he shares is very similar to what I learned in regenerative health at the Regenerative Health Institute when I got my certification as a regenerative health practitioner. It's very similar to what Dr. Morse says, very similar to what Dr. Neil Bernard says. And so there's just a lot of similar information out there, and what makes me believe in it is that it works. Is that when you apply it and you actually practice it, it works. And so Edgar Casey's, who I followed and got well from my eczema in the first place, in the first time, and he was a medical intuitive from the 50s. And a lot of people call Anthony William the medical intuitive of our time, who's kind of replaced Edgar Casey. Any other thoughts, questions? Oh, let's go over the protocol real quick for anybody who's brand new. Let me show you. And whoever invited you can give you a 25% off gift card. So just make sure that you talk to whoever invited you so you know what to do. So here it is. Let's go to share my screen. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the website. It's ultlifestyle.com. Okay. So this is the website, and you're going to use the gift code of whoever invited you so you can get the discounts here. But this is really what's in the pack right here. You get to choose your shakes, your power shakes or your super meal shakes. I say choose one of those two. I recommend the ULT plus immune path for people with eczema, psoriasis, and rheumatoid arthritis and any immune disorder. By the way, your body will never attack itself. That's a theory. It's actually not true. Your body will never attack itself. It's only attacking pathogens. So what comes in this pack also includes a zinc aid. So this has a variety of shakes that you can choose, and these are equivalent to 12 microgreen salads. Okay, one drink is more nutrients than you probably ever eat in a whole day. All right, so these are nutrient-dense, rich superfoods. It does have spirulina and barley green juice and the things that I mentioned. You also get this beautiful, delicious fruit drink, the apothecary juice, which is tart cherry. It has naturally occurring melatonin. So this helps with deep sleep. Which is an important part of your Krebs cycle. Okay, so if you are sleeping deeply, then your body locks water in. So everyone is puffy in the morning and then you urinate in the morning. Well, basically your body is locking in that water all night long. And when you go into the dream state, the REM dream state with this super juice, the super tart cherry, it actually washes the toxins out of your brain. That water is going into your body and collecting toxins, and then you pee it all out in the morning. Okay, so that's the apothecary juice. It also is the highest antioxidant in the world, highest antioxidant fruit in the world. So this is concentrate. You can have it in the morning. If you have constipation, you can all have it in the morning and that'll help you. You can have it in the morning and the evening. You can have it as many times a day as you want. And if you have COVID, drink it all day long. If you have any kind of illness, if you're sick right now, drink that all day long. It'll help you kick it. The Zincade has zinc in it, which is also antiviral. It's a really, really important antiviral. It's great for also helping beat COVID. It's got vitamin C, A, D, and E in there. Almost everyone's deficient in vitamin D. So this is like a really important product for your immune system. Here's the Biomedic. Okay. This Biomedic is what we were talking about that reduces, it also reduces the CR. Not only does it reduce glyphosate by 75% in 6 weeks, it also lowers CRP, C-reactive protein, the inflammatory marker, in 6 weeks. So this is an important part of the cleanse. Okay. This is not a full month cleanse. You're not cleansing the whole month. You're cleansing for 10 days out of the month when you take these super cleanser herbs. You take these super cleanser herbs for 10 days. And the first pack is the first 10 days. And then in month 2, you do it again in month 2. And that's when you really start to see results. That actually sweeps out the colon. This cleans out the colon. This cleans out the plaque out of the colon, kills little parasites. It kills pathogens. It just helps the body with these natural herbs that are Ayurvedic. Everything is organic here that you see. And then you have the super aminos over here on the left side. And these super aminos are really amazing plant-based protein. This is going to give your liver a break. Okay, you want your protein to be natural, plant-based, no fats in it. And this is going to help your liver actually finally clean out the sludge and help your body actually have a lot of energy. These super aminos people love them because they just experience a ton of energy without being caffeinated, right? And without feeling jittery. You just get natural, smooth, clean energy all day long. All of our foods are broken down into aminos, but these super aminos is a special patented formula that is the same ratio that your body uses to make muscle. So these also help with building muscle. These also help with burning fat. And they also are incredible for people who have migraines or headaches. They literally help migraines and headaches go away because it creates osmosis. It actually helps your body. It helps like the water to stop being trapped in the brain. So if you have the kind of headache that's on one side or the other, that's water trapped in the brain usually. And so the super aminos will help that move through the brain. Okay. So comes with this beautiful blender. And you can mix these greens with fruits, or you can just have them by themselves. And you are going to eat fruits and vegetables. These are basically two of your meals every day for 30 days. Okay, so this is a 30-day pack right here. This is 2 of your meals, all right, every day for 30 days. You can have the super aminos twice a day as well. So that you can get your protein, you get your vegetables, and you're getting your fruit every day, plus your probiotics, plus the vitamins that you need. Okay. And then you're going to have these cleansing herbs and so this is a 90-day protocol. So you do this month 1 and it's $12 a day. So that's $6 twice a day. That includes the $6 includes your meal plus your supplements twice a day. And it ends up being, actually, this is if you do it without the Zincade, it's $12 a day. If you do it with the Zincade, it's $13 because it's $35 more for that Zincade. So you get to choose which pack you want. But so you're going to get 25% off from the person who invited you. The retail value is usually $530, but you're going to get it $130 off, $133 off. So there you go for $397. So that's the immune pack. So then you would just go down here, click start today, and then you can say, would you like to customize this? Yes. So you're going to click customize this. And so I recommend that people get 2 super meals. Just change out the first top ones and I like the vanilla chai. If you don't like sweet, get the original. Okay. And then for the power shake, just get 1 apple berry. And then if you don't like anything sweet, just get unflavored. If you hate sweet stuff, just get all unflavored. Just do just original, right? So that's what you do if you're somebody who doesn't averse to sweet. So there's no sugar in here, okay? Just want to get that really clear. There's no sugar. The power shake is sweetened with monk fruit, which is really great for blood sugar, okay? Helps balance blood sugar. The super meal is really amazing for because it has stevia, which is also great for blood sugar. So choose your path. You can also customize month 2 and 3. So it goes down, the price goes down. The first month it's $408, the second month it's $378, and the third month is $378. And the fourth month it goes down to $232 because you get to have your just like once a day. This is going to be like $6 or $7 a day. I think it's like $6.50 a day. And you get all of these things. You get to have this once a day. And you can change out the shake here too. Okay, so that's if you do that one. If you're on a budget, then don't worry. Just if you're on a budget, then get the ULT. Just opt for this one. Okay, that one's $360 your first month, and then $330 the following months. And then you can put in the code of whoever invited you today, so you get that price. Okay, so that's that. And then at the end you can add in the sulfolic zeolite, the barley green juice, and the spirulina. But this is going to be set up. It only charges you 1 month at a time, but you'll have it set up so it just comes to your door every month easily. You don't have to think about it. It's just going to be set up to come to your door, and it comes with a brochure that explains how to do it all. You have our weekly support groups here right now where you can ask questions. You can also, we'll get to you next, Dan. And then you also have access to our support group on Facebook. You have access to our cooking shows, our recipes, all that stuff. Okay. And so, Anne, question, thought.
Yeah, I'm working with somebody who is working through Hashimoto's and eczema outbreak right now. And I'm just wondering, do you suggest just sticking because it's been such a long haul for her, just sticking with the super meal through all 4? Yeah, definitely. Okay. And then if we're not able to right away add in the barley and the spirulina, that's okay. It's just over time. You want to add that, or is it something?
Yeah, you want to gradually increase, but you want to end up with a teaspoon of spirulina every day and a tablespoon of barley green juice every day.
Okay.
Okay. That's going to be really, really transformative. You're in car.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I need to jump, and I want to make sure you have support. I can't seem to flag anyone else down to co-host. So
thank you.
Yes.
We're at the end of the hour anyway. I'm happy to go ahead and end the call in just a moment and just answer a couple more questions.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Just remember that this is actually probably gonna save most of you money. This saved me about $300 the first time I did it. I was like, oh my God, my grocery bill was so low because I wasn't buying groceries. You are eating fruits and vegetables. You are going to lower fat. You are not going to be snacking as much. And I just say, if you're worried about cravings, don't worry about that. Just add this in and it will naturally sort itself out. Your body will start rejecting and not wanting the foods that are not good for you. You'll stop wanting acidic foods. They won't taste good anymore. It'll literally transform. So I'm going to come off spotlight and come back to gallery view and just say, any last thoughts or questions? Hi, Nancy. Nancy Hubbard from the East Coast. Good to see you. Oh, cool. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you all for joining. This recording will be available, and let us know if you need support. If you want to talk to me directly or want to have a health coach help you, just reach out and we'll arrange that. Okay, it doesn't cost anything. Have a good one.